every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football.
It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon, Jay Binkley with you. Cody out today. He'll talk about it tomorrow. He's on a field trip today. Find out where they went. He'll be back tomorrow. Video stream. It's been having issues going back to even the morning show today. Drew is efforting the video stream, going to give it one last shot.
Yeah, we're trying now.
Potentially,
so
you can check it out over on YouTube, Twitch, and X. I know a lot of you, that is how you listen. Someone was even texting in saying, hey, they work at the Ford plan, and that's how they listen. They listen through YouTube. So thanks for hanging with us, and hopefully YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook is working as well. You guys, of course, can listen on the Odyssey app if that works for you. And also, as always, just
and you can always do the old school thing and listen on the radio.
FM and AM, 96.5 and 610 AM.
A little dial thing in your car.
That radio thing.
Works,
that radio thing does work pretty good as well. But for a lot of people, man, in their offices and stuff, they listen, they watch the show. That's why we do it.
Things changing, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
People back in my day listened to the radio.
So we'll see. We'll give it a go. Hopefully, I think there's a chance that we're fine on the video stream now, and we'll let you guys know if we end up having to take it down. Earlier in the week, we did a mock draft sounder, okay? Mm-hmm. And Drew hit the sounder, it was your mock draft. You and Kristen Osero, the Character Concerns mock draft. And you guys are heating up your coverage here as we're getting closer and closer day by day to the end of April in Pittsburgh for the NFL draft. And I think it's always fascinating with these how much it'll shift now compared to March 15th when the combine's already taken place at that point in time. And so let's start with you. I want to go deeper into this. Normally, Drew runs through it and we give some thoughts, but you're in studio. You're co-hosting today, so this is perfect. Take me through.
This month, you have the combine, 22nd. So
yeah, but
I was free agency. Yeah,
I was just throwing out. I was just saying by March 15th.
We have the combine this month, man.
My point was after the combine, but the point taken. It was more
slip on that. I can't let you go.
That's fine. My reasoning was just saying basically before the combine, it'll be way different after. Anyway, let's start with round one, Bink. Take me through the logic here.
It's different
on pick 9.
Even after the Senior Bowl this week, it changed. This is why Caleb Banks. You guys talked about Caleb Banks was in mock drafts. He's the flavor of the week. Got to get some.
Why
Caleb
is
Banks.
that? Why is that?
Obviously, he had a huge week of practices at the Senior Bowl, and people like Caleb Banks, and he's got 35-inch arms, and people like Caleb Banks and the power he possesses, and But then when you do research on it, which he did, and you saw he played 3 games last year. It wasn't a full body of work last season, but he is one of those guys creeping up in mocks. You see it more and more with the trends as they do trends with mocks. And I'll be honest with you, Alex, I think a lot of it comes down to if Mel Kiper puts somebody out there, chances are you're going to see 10 to 20 mocks with the same player that Mel Kiper had in their mocks. We've seen a lot of that with Jeremiah Love, with Reuben Bain. You haven't seen as much with the receivers, so to speak, and Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon, has been on a bunch of them. But we went Mekhi Lemon in the first round. We did a 3-round mock right when the Chiefs first got eliminated, and we had Carnell Tate there instead. I think Carnell goes earlier than pick 9, and Mekhi Lemon might as well go earlier than pick 9. But with Mekhi Lemon, the wide receiver from USC, I really like the guy because, 1, he runs great routes. 2, he catches the football, which is proven. He's only dropped 3 in his last 175 targets, which means dude catches everything. He's willing to block. He's willing to do a lot of different things. And he was a big part of the reason that USC was even competitive with that offense with Maeva at quarterback is Mekhi Lemon and what he's able to do. Now you're not having the 6'3", 6'2" range like he normally. He's 5'11", but plays bigger. And some guys do. Like Tyreek Hill always played bigger than his frame. MVS played smaller than his 6'4" frame.
Yeah, the only part that worries me is the size there, as you said. Now, everything points to him.
But that's the wheelhouse of the Chiefs draft.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of what I don't want them to draft, though, because of the track record. They have not been willing to draft the 6'3" wide receiver for the most part. And when they've been going with more of the speedster guys. But what we're saying and what you're saying here is with Lemon, now this is a guy that will go and get the football, that has great footwork, that has all that kind of stuff, that plays bigger than what he does.
And he's good against man. Everybody's worried about man coverage and guy that creates separation. This is a guy you think about Mahomes. Can this guy create separation, create space? JSN with the Seahawks leads the NFL in receiving yards. He was picked 20 in the first round from Ohio State. But he's made a difference, and he's made a big difference on the Seattle Seahawks and what they are. But, yeah, Mekhi Lemon, we talk about these contracts, the free agent contracts, what's going to cost you for a second contract with receivers in the NFL. With Alec Pierce, making the $20 million, that's ridiculous.
But he's not a yak guy, right? He's not going to be yards after the catch. He's going to be, which, by the way, I don't know if
not as much.
You always want that, but I would rather have a guy that's going to go, it's a 12-yard great throw from Mahomes, and he's going to go up and get the damn football. If that's what you're telling me Lemon is, then I'm far more interested.
Rice is more of his game.
Okay.
That's more of Rashee Rice's game as far as the yards after the catch. This year was his whole career at USC, he's already been around 14.7. So about 15 yards per catch is kind of in his wheelhouse. So he's going to get you, on average, he's been right there too, Alex. It's like 14.7, 14.7, 14.6. So, that's his track record of 3 years at USC. So he is about a 15 yards a catch type of guy. That exploded in touchdowns, 11 this past year. But we went that direction. I know people are enamored with getting pass rush in the first round at pick 9, but you can get good pass rushers sitting on pick 40. We've seen more of the transition with more good pass rushers going late. Hell, everybody wants Max Crosby right now. That's a 4th-round pick. It's not always going to be that way. T.J. Watt went at the end of the first round. We're seeing more and more, instead of pick 1 through 18.
There's exceptions.
That you used to see with the edge market. We're seeing more and more at the end of the first round to the beginning of the second. And luckily, with the Chiefs picking 40, it's 8 picks in or 7 picks into the second round. That's pretty damn good.
I'm not anti-wide receiver at 9. It's not my first choice. Let's see what they do in free agency at that position, at defensive line. Let's see also after the combine where everybody's at on David Bailey, for example. Does he go much higher than 9? Does he slide? Ruben Bain, I know we don't have to get back into it. I know you're concerned about the measurables. I just mean we'll have right now. I'm not saying we can never talk. I'm just saying
people always come out at the Ruben Bain and always talk about his arm length and how it doesn't matter. Well, actually it does, because in the NFL this is something that coaches look for. But I'm not even talking about that with Ruben Bain. My biggest concern is look at his game logs, and I challenge everybody, go look at his game logs, because week 3 through 10 he had a sack and a half. He went a 8-game stretch there. We had 1 sack.
Yeah. Miles Garrett also, go look at his stats in college the last couple of games. Not great either.
Yeah, they ruined him down there. I don't know what happened to Miles Garrett, but I'm just saying there are games you take off. Yeah. So if you go out and have a great game, which everybody in the NFL is always concerned about players taking games off. Like Christian looks great in one game, and then you might not hear from him for a couple games. He doesn't do anything. Sure. But people are always enamored with that. You got to show up each and every game, and that's been a big problem with Ruben's game. He was playing some ACC talent. They weren't exactly great teams. Stanford throwing in there. He's doing nothing. Nothing. And Messidor was on the same defensive line getting everything.
Let's move to round 2.
Zion Young. And
he's a Mizzou guy. The first thing that we talked about as well is with what has happened off the field for other draft picks.
Yeah.
It's not been something that they've shied away from before. Has it gotten to a point where you think the DWI, I think it was, is a problem, or do you actually, reality is it's not?
I don't think it's a problem, and he got caught.
From a football end, obviously, it's a problem.
And how many people out there have had too much to drink and they get behind a wheel and they weren't caught? So you're going to make a judgment on this guy because he actually was caught. We can make that judgment, or you can always change. Guys can always change on that. But I like Zion. I like his motor. I like what he does. He affects games. He had a great week of Senior Bowl practice. Great week. He followed it up, named Player of the Week for in the Senior Bowl, because they did each team got a player, and then they did a game MVP, which was Nussmeier. So he was one of those. So he showed up and performed. And he might slip from 40. He might be a lot earlier. He might have made his way up into and when he goes to the combine, he might actually be at the end of the first round at some point. Getting him at 40 might be a pipe dream at this point as far as what Zion Young. But he does bring kind of what you're looking for. And again, I'm in that area, wide receiver and edge. Now, Chris, that I do the character concerns with more on getting edge first.
How do you guys break that up, by the way? Do you get it? He gets first, you get second round?
Each one.
So who made the first round pick in this one?
He did.
You made the Zion Young pick.
I did. Zion.
Okay.
I did Zion Young, and Chris did Mekhi Lemon, but it was just too good of a player to pass up is why he went Lemon, because he looked at the player, the fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. But he's been team more edge than wide receiver, but you see the quality of player there, and can't really pass up on this, because I was and I assured Chris I was going pass rush with the next pick, so that's why we kind of agreed on it.
So round 1, wide receiver. Round 2, edge rusher. Where'd you guys go in round 3? This is the character concerns mock draft that you guys did.
We had to go running back at that point because with the first 3 picks, you got to get running back.
Now, what would change? If I told you they signed Breece Hall, would you feel like they have to?
That's much different.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Then you can slide on later than that. But top 3 pick, we went Emmett Johnson. That or Jonah Coleman we discussed. With Washington going that direction. Emmett Johnson, he's got to work a little bit on his pass protection. Run blocking has been good with Emmett, but he had 46 catches this year, and he did lead the Big Ten in rushing. Emmett Johnson's a stud. And if you can get a guy like that in the 3rd round, again, I don't think you're wasting a first-round pick on running back, not 2nd round, especially if you haven't addressed the edge at that point. 3rd round, I thought, was a good spot for the Kansas City Chiefs to go running back in that situation. The next round, we went Albert Regis, and you can hammer me all you want. He does have the shorter arms, but he's on the interior. He played defensive in the interior for A&M. Always playing. One of the snap leaders for him. So went defensive line towards the inside. And that was my pick as well. So I did go defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need massive help in depth on the defensive line.
So it'd be 4th round, then the 5th and 6th. 5th round, Davison Igbenison, the cornerback, extremely physical. 6'2", plays for Ohio State, started for the Buckeyes, won a national title with them last year. So in the round 5, we went corner. Round 6, Bryce Betcher, the linebacker out of Oregon. And this guy had 136 tackles, led the Big Ten in tackles. This guy's a machine at inside linebacker. He had at least 9 tackles in each one of the playoff games for Oregon and had 10 his last game for him. But he's a tackling machine. Something I think that it would fit in nicely with the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was Boss's teammate as well that they already have on the team. And here's the one question about him, Bryce is, because he was a walk-on to Oregon, is he going to play baseball or football? That's always been kind of the thing bet on, because he was drafted in the 13th round by the Astros, but he said he wants to go forward playing football.
The Igbenogson pick is fascinating, Bink, because he's really, really good, but he's also
penalty problem.
He is a penalty machine.
He brought him down a little bit this year.
He was better.
He's very, very physical, very in your face, but he's the type of corner I think would be perfect with Spags.
I noticed no tight end drafted for you, right? No tight end in this mock draft.
We didn't go tight end, and we really wanted to, but here's the thing. That's why the Kelsey decision's so important for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Are you where most people are at right now, thinking at this point as we sit on February 5th, he's coming back? Is that kind of where you're at?
Yeah, unless you're going to spend high on a tight end, as far as the impact tight ends, sure. I like Eli Stowers and Kenyon Sadiq. I even like Max Clare, even though he took a step back when he transferred to Ohio State this year. And Michael Trigg, and there's other guys out there tight end. But you really got to go kind of early if you want impactful tight end one, so to speak.
Yeah, and I
That's
do not
why
want
Kelsey's decision matters so much for what the draft is for the Chiefs.
There's a few mocks out there that have Sadiq going 9 to Kansas City, and especially if Kelsey comes back, I'm not interested. And even if he doesn't, I'm also not that interested.
There's mid-round guys that I like that the Shrine Bowl, Jack Andrews, who was with Mendoza at Cal, believe it or not. Mendoza went to Indiana. He went to Texas, and he was the tight end at Texas, Jack Andrews. He was a guy in the mid-rounds. You could go for that selection, but you just don't see. And I know Kelsey was a 3rd-round pick, so that didn't exactly scream future Hall of Fame tight end with him. So it takes a project, but typically, especially in this draft, going early for tight ends, and they just need so many other positions.
I think this time,
and that's a free agency thing. I think the Chiefs can get
running back and tight end, possibly
tight end affordably. Like Isaiah Likely or Pitts or somebody like that. It's more affordable for the Chiefs to go tight end in free agency.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Someone says, with what money would they sign Breece Hall? They have other important needs. It's crazy. They're not a running back away. I'm not saying they're a running back away, but your point saying they have other important needs, why should they spend money at running back? That's the same argument I would use why they shouldn't spend a draft pick on a running back very high. They can get a running back pretty inexpensively in free agency.
And they should know by March 11th, they should know what they're doing.
They can get a running back fairly cheap in by NFL standards in free agency without having, I don't want them spending the 9th overall pick on Jeremiah Love. I think that's a mistake.
So March 11th comes and the Chiefs haven't gone out and got a free agent running back. Yeah. Are you saying, okay, running back at least by round 3? If they have not got a free agent running back.
If they go into the draft and it's Brashard Smith and it's some, we'll call it C-level running back, it's, or injury-prone J.K. Dobbins or somebody like that.
Dameon Pierce.
Or Dameon Pierce, because I guess, he was on the roster at the end of the season. If that's the running back room, then yes, I think the first 3 rounds, they need to address it. One of the first 3 rounds, they need to address it. But if they go and sign an Algier or a Breece Hall, they could wait till the 5th round or 6th round to draft a running back. I don't care at that point.
What is the edge free agent class looking like?
Your guy's on there from the Bengals. He's probably number one.
Yep.
Who else? Is there anybody else? Because this is the thing. This is the argument. I would rather spend the money on a better edge rusher and draft one at 9-2, and then you draft a running back in round 3. You can never have too many pass rushers.
Financials are the problem. The top-end pass rush market, I think, is tough, Drew. That's the only thing. I'm with
He
you
didn't
that
even
I
have to be
like it.
top end.
Jaden Phillips will still
Well, they're
be
going
out
to
there.
sign. If you're just saying
clearly one.
If you're saying, are they going to sign an edge rusher in free agency? Yeah, they'll sign 1 or 2 defensive linemen in free agency. I'm just saying, like, to get the big movers, like Boye Mafe, for example.
Mafe, Khalil Mack.
He's gonna cost some money. He's gonna cost you some money.
I would rather spend the money on Mafe than Brees Hall at 11. You just bring in Algier and then you draft another guy. For all the reasons that we've talked about running back.
Malcolm Coons with the Raiders. They'll probably keep him now that Max Crosby.
I mean, it would be
traded.
like what you're describing
Brees
would be
Hall
the.
being on the Chiefs next year is not going to make them a Super Bowl contender.
I didn't say they
but
would.
if you bring in Boye Mafe and you
He's
draft
not
David
gonna make
Bailey-
him a Super Bowl
No,
contender.
hang on a second. You didn't let me finish. If you bring in Boye Mafe and then you draft an edge and then you draft an interior, you build up the weakest part of the team that we've said is defensive line. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter who you have at running back, I think, because you have Patrick Mahomes and the defensive line
There's a
is
lot of free
rebuilt.
agency, but I'll say this. The Chiefs were better statistically on defense than offense this last year.
Yeah.
Much better statistically on defense. They were number 6 in the NFL in scoring defense. I mean, that's insane. That's how good they were. And they were number 1 on fourth down defense. So they have been good, and they do have pieces. And they won a couple Super Bowls. They went to Super Bowl with both. And obviously, when they beat the Eagles and the Niners, they were number 2 in the NFL in sacks. Now, that wasn't exactly coming from the edge. They were getting them from the safety position, corners, inside linebackers. My biggest thing is when people want edge at the first pick, I get that. I mean, so many people are enamored for it. We look at 25 mocks each time, and it's amazing the few wide receivers. I mean, this one last Monday we did, there was 3 wide receivers taken with that pick. This past week, only 2 wide receivers picked, 6 edge. Most people went running back in the mock drafts for the Kansas City Chiefs. But my question is, who's going to catch the football?
Yeah,
That's
so-
a big problem.
Yeah, so I think number 1 priority is defensive line. I'm not disagreeing that that is a more impactful position. What I'm disagreeing with is the logic that if they get Boye Mafe and they draft somebody, that they're a Super Bowl contender. My take on signing Brees Hall is not that, oh my gosh, guys, they're a Super Bowl contender. In fact, I have told you, I think in 2026, no matter what they do for the most part, barring just a complete shocker across the board, they're fighting for a wild card spot next year, and it's not till 27 that they are a true Super Bowl contender. So Brees Hall, I'm not even disagreeing with whether or not that makes them a contender or not. They have shown that they have to get more explosive in the backfield. So like this idea that like you got Patrick Mahomes, have whoever in the backfield just address defense. That's how we got to this point in time of this. What happened this past season, I would argue. There's a lot of reasons, but I think that's a flawed thought process to just say that they'll figure out running back. Don't worry about it. I think we have learned with where the NFL has trended, you can't have that thought process anymore. You have to be more explosive there. I also still acknowledge defensive line is why I want them to take a defensive lineman at 9. I think that's the top of the list of offseason priorities. I'm not convinced they can just do it through free agency, though. That's all.
And you look at the Seahawks, they got the Stafford one time in the NFC title game, but JSN had 10 catches, 153 yards, and a touchdown. Again, JSN has made a difference. He's the leading receiver in the National Football League. So we could talk about the Seahawks defense, but we also got to bring up they have the 3rd most points per game in the NFL. They could still score with elite weapons.
Yeah.
Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, you just don't want to hear it week 4, week 5, week 6. You know you're going to hear it. Everybody's dropping the football. Nobody's healthy. Again, the Chiefs receivers, they've gone into the season on paper, with good receivers. They've gone to St. Joe with good receivers, but then the season starts. And all of a sudden, Hollywood Brown's hurt in the 3rd game of the preseason against Jacksonville. This year, you didn't have Rashee Rice through 6 weeks. Boom, Xavier Worthy gets hurt on play 3. He's out 3 games. So all of a sudden, that on paper, those wide receivers you had. And my biggest argument is you got Mahomes now. It's not like you have an average quarterback where you build up that defense to be dominant. You have an elite level quarterback that can be a game changer. So you don't want 5 years to go by after Mahomes retired. Go, man, wish we would have got this guy some receivers. I'm just saying, take advantage of what you have at this point, and that is an elite quarterback. Because week 4, week 5, I don't want to hear they have nobody to throw to. They can't be man coverage. They have no receivers. Get the weapons now. The best part of your game, yes, running game is important for a team, but the passing game in the NFL is elite at this point too.
How much do you think? I agree with you. How much do you think? Both of you guys, the development part, how much are you buying into, it's weird. Have we made too big of a deal on the development part with the wide receivers, because I think it is absolutely a factor in why Xavier Worthy, other than the injury, still has struggled down the field. And we all have acknowledged Connor Embry was not qualified to be the wide receiver coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. And they have a huge upgrade with Chad O'Shea coming in, and they've brought in some other guys that have a wide receiver background. I think that's huge, and I think it signifies that they believe that there's a huge developmental problem also. But how much is it truly just like we were all wrong about the personnel? Like Rice and Worthy are going to be, if not 1-2 next year, 1-3 next year in the wide receiver room, depending on what they do with the draft. Yeah. So like those are your dudes next year. You can sign whoever, but those are your dudes next year. So I guess we'll get the answer definitively after this year. But how much do you think it was Worthy's development was a coaching issue, or how much is it like, hey, he's not who we thought he was?
Now, I would have brought in, because he is coaching now. He's the head coach, Deshaun Jackson. With that skill set, I would have brought him in because Andy Reid's got the pipeline to do it, to work with him.
Bring him in from Delaware State?
If it wasn't going with your wide receivers. Yeah. Hines Ward, sitting out here, is the wide receiver coach of Arizona State. That is the guy that can help you with development. But I'm with you on the wide receiver coach. It is important, especially when it comes to creating separation. Give Mahomes an actual window to throw to. Learn how to get off man coverage, which a lot of teams in the NFL are struggling. Is when we saw 2 receivers this year in the NFL with over 500 yards against man, and they both played for the Cowboys. It is tough. It's also risky to play man because it puts yourself in defense and liability if they're beaten by said receiver. But yeah, I think having a good wide receiver coach helps the development going forward. But here's the deal. You can look good on paper, but again, if you're going out here and one receiver is hurt, which does happen with this team, or suspended, which does happen with this team. So you may have a good wide receiver room, but what do you actually have? When actual games started, are you using someone like Tyquan Thornton to come in there and get catches? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're only going to have this quarterback once.
I hear you on the wide receiver. My only worry would be with like Lemon or any of these receivers at 9. And
it's the whole argument.
I'm not anti-drafting a wide receiver at 9. My only worry is, like Lemon, for example, if this was next year, is he the 5th receiver off the board? 4th
or 5th, probably.
That's the only thing. Like, sir, look, the draft is the draft. You're picking 9. Nobody, like, I'm not even saying Lemon can't be good.
It is better than Jeremiah Smith.
That's the only worry I would have at wide receiver at 9 is like, are you taking wide receiver at 9 because it truly, like, you think they definitively have to have one for 2026 that is a rookie coming in, or are you just taking one because you actually think that player is legit? Because if he's the 4th or 5th wide receiver in most years off the board, then is that the guy I really want to take at 9?
But there is some depth at the position, like a Denzel Boston that I think is going to turn some heads because he's got the size at Washington, Chris Brazzell at Tennessee. I think at least there could be 5 receivers taken in the first round. There really could.
Okay.
It guarantee at least 4 receivers go in the first round. And the one thing, the record is 7. Because in 2004 and 2024, you had 7 wide receivers go in the first round. So it's not going to quite be to that point. But I do think throughout the 32, you're going to see 4 to 5 receivers gone in the first round. And they do make a difference. And, yeah, we can bulk up on the defensive line all you want. But who's going to catch the football for Mahomes? Who's going to put the ball in the end zone? We had a problem with the Chiefs scoring big-time plays with playmakers making plays.
They also had a problem on third downs getting off the field because they couldn't get after the quarterback.
Third down, they couldn't get after the quarterback. Fourth down, they couldn't. I'm looking at the team that's got more sacks, that led the NFL in sacks the last 2 years, the Denver Broncos. You know what? They're not in the Super Bowl. And I know that they had to go with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. But the team that led the NFL in sacks, sitting on the couch watching the Super Bowl just like us. But JSN with the Seahawks, like, I know their defense is good. But what is that team without that dude that almost had 1,800 yards? You got to have a weapon.
913-586-7965, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. We'll get into some more of the draft and the character concerns mock draft in the 1 o'clock hour. Up next, though, we get to what's trending. Back into the Super Bowl on Sunday, including what do we project the Patriots and the Seahawks to do moving forward beyond 2025/2026. That's coming up right here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah, it's easy. You could do it almost anywhere in just 15 minutes.
Even poolside like Drewski, you can switch to T-Mobile and unlock savings that are built to last. With T-Mobile's Better Value Plan, you can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T. Save on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
Now I get all the VIP perks.
Start saving from day one, and for a limited time, get T-Mobile's Better Value Plan.
I know you love deals.
Plus, switch right now, and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800. What do you think of all that, Drewski?
Stay chillin', just switch it. It's better over here.
Check the math at T-Mobile.com/better value. Savings versus comparable plans at AT&T and Verizon, plus the cost of optional benefits. Plan features and taxes and fees vary. With 3+ lines of Better Value Plan, 3+ new lines and 2 eligible ports, or 3+ lines and 5+ years on T-Mobile postpaid plan required. Qualifying credit required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Get up to $800 per line via virtual prepaid card. Typically takes 15 days after rebate submission. Qualifying unlocked device credit service ported 90+ days with device and eligible carrier, and timely redemption required. No cash access and card expires in 6 months. Card issued by Sunrise Banks N.A. member FDIC.
If the high cost of living is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. Save big at the pump with red-hot fuel saver deals this week. Stock up on groceries and stack up the savings when you scan your Hy-Vee Perks card at checkout. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up might even be free. Don't have a Perks card yet? Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com/perks and start saving today. Don't miss the red-hot fuel saver deals this week only at Hy-Vee.
The big game's here, and you're going to have a watch party. It may not be super for all of us Chiefs fans here in Kansas City, but still, Hy-Vee can help you make it super. Hy-Vee's your one-stop shop for all of your big game watch party needs. You can get fresh dips. They've got all the chips, the take-and-bake pizzas, a great selection of wings, and my favorite is the bakery. I love their football-themed cookies, and they've got great sheet cakes and cupcakes as well. Mix and match in the wine and spirits department and save 10% when you mix or match 6 or more bottles. Only at Hy-Vee.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Look out for Max Minute on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, the NBA trade deadline is today. At 2 o'clock, we got word today from ESPN that Giannis Antetokounmpo will not be traded by today's deadline. Going to have to look into the offseason. This does not mean that they're not moving on from him. Just not going to happen until the offseason. So we'll see if we get any other big moves today. John Morant could be on the move still, of course, in the last couple 24 hours or so. James Harden on the move. Anthony Davis on the move. Porzingis on the move. But the big one everybody was keeping an eye on, Giannis, not going to happen, at least for now.
NBA deadline has everybody up in arms. Shams has got a ton of time going on with it. It's one of these leagues that you can make a difference. We talk about the trade deadline in the NFL, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball, you actually see.
There's nobody more fired up than you, Bink. I know you're pumped up for 2 o'clock
This is what you know. Everybody thinks you love mock drafts. You actually are a big trade deadline guy.
Big trade deadline.
Big NBA guy.
Yeah. Let's move to baseball. John Wathan elected to the Royals Hall of Fame.
Yeah, awesome news.
John Wathan getting some respect.
Awesome news. Well deserved. Well past time. 52 years in baseball, 47 of them
That's a lot.
with the Royals organization. He's now the 32nd member of the Royals Hall of Fame. They have not announced exact day this summer at the K. There'll be a game, of course, where he gets inducted. But, yeah, very cool honor for him. If you remember last year, there was one individual inducted. That was Alex Gordon. The year before, Bo Jackson was part of that class as well. But John Wathan, the Royals announcing today, he was elected to the Hall of Fame. I believe he'll have a little media availability around 1 o'clock or so this afternoon. Sticking with baseball, though, Bink, not quite as positive news as that one. Lefty Framber Valdez, the top left-handed pitcher on the market, off the board, signing in division with the Detroit Tigers on a reported 3-year contract worth $115 million. There is an opt-out after year 2, but as of right this second, the Detroit Tigers have Skubal and Valdez atop their rotation. They are the favorites to win this division. No surprise there. They're the team to beat. Skubal's in the middle of arbitration hearings. We'll find out if Skubal's on the opening day, pitching opening day for Detroit. I feel like all we know for sure is that this time next year, Skubal won't be on the Tigers, but the Royals might be dealing with a Tigers team that has both those guys this year in the rotation, which is, of course, not ideal if you're any team in the West, in the Central.
What is it, $19 million difference between what Skubal wants and what they're willing to pay?
Yeah.
And Vinny actually got more money with the Royals than what he asked for.
Well,
which is a rarity what you see.
Basically bought out the arbitration.
Obviously, there's difference in money situation there. Old Miss QB Trinidad Chamberlain not eligible for the 2026 season after the NCAA denied his waiver request, but they're still going to fight it through the court system. So Trinidad Chamberlain, who did spend 4 years at Ferris State, spent a year at Ole Miss. I know that Heineke at Oklahoma, they wanted to get him another year of eligibility because he lost a year because he played 1 year of lacrosse at Ohio State. When are they going to say enough's enough? They already kind of worked with the Darian Mintz as far as once you sign a deal, you can't go and transfer. So they bent on that rule, so to speak. I mean, at some point, man, you've got to just go to 5 years. I mean, this would be 6 years.
I agree.
I like Trinidad Chamberlain, but that's too much.
So all four usually being on the player's side with a lot of this stuff, but the issue, the NCAA, there's plenty of issues, but they're trying to actually enforce something that makes sense, and then they just go to court and they keep losing. So, like, Trinidad, I think, is going to ultimately win and end up being eligible because
he's in Mississippi.
But it wasn't not even just because it's Mississippi. It's just that the NCAA keeps losing these eligibility cases for the most part once it gets to court.
Though.
Yeah, but there's more examples of them losing in court because of it. And so I'm with you. 5 years. I mean, we don't need guys playing 7 years in college. It's ridiculous.
You got to make sure you get that Ole Miss judge, Bink.
You know what, though?
That's what Drum Team was talking about.
Might be a year.
State judges out here.
You know what? This might honestly be a year for Trinidad to go ahead and go to the NFL.
He'd be the second quarterback take, or third or fourth quarterback taken. So
this would probably be the year for Trinidad to go ahead and make that jump.
Elsewhere in what's trending, the Royals have signed Brandon Drury to a minor league contract at $278, along with 447 RBI throughout his minor league career. The contract does include an invitation to Major League spring training. Minor move, another body to have competing during Cactus League play.
Yeah. Vern, he leaves Monday.
Yeah, he leaves on the 9th, heading out to Arizona. He'll kick off. He's already got the hot stove going, but he'll kick off our coverage from Arizona here very soon. I'm jealous of the weather that he's about to be in. We're going to get some good weather for a week or so. He's going to have good weather for about 3 weeks.
So we've got spring training basically for a week and a half or so. Then all the WBC guys will go off.
First spring training game.
And the Royals have 7 guys in WBC.
They do, yeah. First spring training game Friday the 20th.
Vern. When Vern's in action, man, it's time, man. It's springtime when Vern goes to Arizona.
It definitely is a signal that spring is very close.
And also, NFL Honors is tonight. Don't know if you care about that or not. Yeah, I'll watch
John
it. John
Hamm, I believe, is hosting.
I mean, honestly, what else? Until tomorrow night with the opening ceremonies, it's kind of a...
There's some Olympic events going on right now.
Yeah, there is. Team USA
women's hockey just won. They destroyed, was it
Czech Republic, I think?
Chechnya or whatever?
Oh, was it Chechnya that played?
I don't know. Yeah, Chechnya, I think. Anyway.
The Olympics did start. But the official opening ceremony.
NFL Honors, look, it's one of those, like, let me know who wins. I'll check Twitter to see who wins MVP. I think it'll be Stafford, but May's got a shot. Same with Coach of the Year and all that. John Hamm, if there's a funny moment in the monologue at the beginning, someone will tweet out the 6-minute clip. I'll watch that. I don't need to sit there and watch the whole thing. I can get the cliff notes out of the whole thing and not miss anything that actually transpired tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure Twitter will have everything you want to see. And I'll say I'm going to watch it, but I don't like award shows, so I'll probably watch.
Oh, I thought you were watching the Grammys on Sunday.
I'll flip. No. I'll probably flip back and forth because I'm curious about the Hall of Fame.
That part, again, I can get that information, though, without having to watch the NFL Honors. We also already know the drama. Kraft and Belichick aren't in. I mean, that is the biggest downside, not to get back into that whole conversation. The biggest downside with the Hall of Fame thing, it's not even so much like the outrage about Belichick and all that. It's the fact that that's all anybody's going to talk about. So that part of it sucks for whoever gets in. The people that get in, everybody's just going to want to talk about how Belichick and Kraft are not in. They will not be talking about, whoever's getting in this year. That's the only part that I do agree with that sucks about the whole process here.
Yeah, but it won't be Chiefs. Last couple of years, Chiefs aren't in any of the categories. Even though they were winning, they weren't in any of them. So, it is an NFL quote show. So, I guess I'll tune in at some point. I say I'm going to watch it just like the Pro Bowl, but it sucked too. I mean, it was bad.
Oh, the NFL Honors is better than the Pro Bowl games.
I mean, it's probably going to be just as bad.
Better than that. Not much, but it's definitely better. All right, thinking of the Super Bowl on Sunday, though, Patriots, Seahawks out in Santa Clara. You look at where both franchises are at and their conferences and their divisions, and if I were to tell you, looking ahead next 5+ years, who is more likely to, get back to a Super Bowl and plain and simple, more Super Bowl appearances? Because I think you can make, there's an argument to be made for both, but I think the Patriots are still better positioned. The division that they're in for starters. I also think Drake May has staying power. Sam Darnold, not that I think he's going to start seeing ghosts again, but Drake May, the upside is still greater, in my opinion, for him. Mike Vrabel, I think, is one of the best coaches in football. Mike McDonald is starting to look like he might be, but it's only 2 years of him coaching in the NFL as a head coach. The division the Seahawks are in, brutal, absolutely brutal, with Shanahan and McVay as the coaches. The only team there you're going to consistently beat is the Cardinals, who are lost. The Patriots have the Bills and Josh Allen, but the Dolphins are going nowhere. The Jets are the freaking Jets. So divisionally, you don't have to worry about that. The challenge is whether or not you believe the path once you're there, which is if Mahomes is consistently back in it, if Josh Allen is still there, even though he hasn't got over the hump, and then who the new crop of quarterbacks are. I just think the Patriots cap-wise are going to go out and add another wide receiver or two to give Drake May another weapon to go with what he has, and they could be better offensively. Record-wise, they won't be better next year because their schedule is going to be way tougher. They'll have a worse record. And I don't think necessarily the Patriots are going on a run where they're going to be in 2 out of the next 5 Super Bowls. But if I had to pick, Patriots or the Seahawks more likely, or we fast forward 10 years from now, to have gone to multiple Super Bowls, I would pick the Patriots.
And we'll see what happens with Buffalo, 5-year stretch where they'd won the division. They spent all their offseason looking at the Chiefs, and then the Patriots came up and surprised them maybe a year or so early. But it is interesting because both of them defensive-minded head coaches with Seattle And in New England, people always say, you have to have an offensive mind to be your head coach. Not necessarily when you look at McDonald, never even played college football. But I look at the quarterbacks in the AFC. Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see what Harbaugh does with Jackson Dart with the Giants. Can that be a team that you have to start worrying about? Can Harbaugh turn around the New York Giants? But I think for the most part, the good quarterbacks do reside in the AFC. It's much tougher. I mean, New England's not going to have an opportunity to play the AFC title game against Jarrett Stidham. It's not going to happen all those years. I mean, you're going to play a quality quarterback when it comes to the AFC title game. It doesn't matter where that game was, whether they have it in Denver, which the weather turned bad. It would have been bad in New England as well. That's just part of the course of playing with the Patriots. I just think the quarterbacks are definitely tougher in the NFC. And Sam Darnold, listen, he's been good. Last couple of years, he's caught lightning in a bottle. He was very good last year in Minnesota. So didn't play it all well in the postseason. But I'll say this. I think Sam Darnold, and he's kind of an outlier, but he is going to set the market. He's going to be an outlier in the NFL. People say, look, we can go grab a Mac Jones type, and they can be our quarterback. If we can get to the Super Bowl with a Sam Darnold, like he's going to be an outlier. People are going to look at that contract and think, ooh, who's the next Sam Darnold out there that you can't always do? Because he did fall apart when it came to postseason last year. Didn't this year. But again, he's an outlier, but I think a lot of people are going to buy into the Sam Darnold because the quarterback class in the draft isn't that great. And they're going to say, who's our Sam Darnold? Who's going to be that guy leading the way? But I do think there's better quarterbacks in the AFC than the NFC, so I think the door's more wide open for Seattle.
I agree with you that teams will think that. You said, though, lightning in a bottle. So do you think that Sam – and I think the Seahawks as a team are a one-and-done type of run here. I don't think they're suddenly going to be in the Super Bowls multiple years or NFC title games consistently. But I don't know if I like lightning in a bottle. Why? Well,
the last couple
like
years,
Sam Darnold,
I wouldn't just say in this year, but last year he kind of got it because he did have a resurrection last year in Minnesota.
But 100%.
So it's only been 2 years.
Maybe I'm just
It's only been 2 years for basically lightning in a bottle. Sam Darnold.
Totally. No. I'm with you. The story's great and it's a short period. I'm just saying, lightning in a bottle would suggest that you think it's just like a 2-year thing and then he's just back. I'm saying, do you think that it's a case for Darnold, who's still only 28 years old or whatever?
Oh, he's proven he can do it.
That he's going to be a top 12 to 15 quarterback in this league now for the next 5+ years, because that means he didn't catch lightning in a bottle. That means it's real, right?
Well, see, he's going to have another offensive coordinator now.
For sure.
Kubiak's going to be gone, so it's going to be different for Sam Darnold, kind of finding his home. Obviously, they turned him around in Minnesota, becoming the player that he is now. How good is he going to be going forward? I don't know. How good is Sam Darnold going to be? But I think that's going to be one of those guys where people say, we don't necessarily have to draft that elite quarterback. We can go. We don't need a Burrow, a Jackson, a Mahomes. We can win with a Sam Darnold. I just think he's going to set unexpected expectations for a lot of NFL teams with Sam Darnold's success.
Probably so. I mean, while you bring that up, of the quarterback, then who do you guys think, 913-586-7965, who do you guys think is most likely to potentially be able to have a career resurrection, I guess? Because Mac Jones is the easy name to think of.
Jones would be.
He's the easy name to think of. We all know he was in New England, ironically enough. Did not work out there. He was in San Francisco this year with Kyle Shanahan. When he's played, he's been pretty darn good. We all know Sam Darnold a couple years ago was with Kyle Shanahan, then went with Minnesota. Now he's in Seattle doing this. So people are going to make the connection, understandably so. Mac Jones, could he end up in Pittsburgh? Could he end up in Miami? Could he end up in Minnesota? Those seem to be 3 likely destinations for him. Do you think we could be sitting here in a year or so? Not that Mac Jones is in the Super Bowl. I just mean that, okay, you know what? Turns out the Jets organization, the Patriots organization failed him at that time. In this case, the Patriots, but before we're talking about Darnold with the Jets, that those organizations failed those guys. They deserve another crack at it. Do you think Mac Jones should be a starting quarterback again?
No, but he will be.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But he will be. It's just like when Trey Lance, with the expectations, he's finally going to turn it around and be good, right? And he hasn't been, and he's made a roster, with the Chargers and what he's doing there. But everybody's going to have those expectations. Well, who's the next guy? Because the quality of quarterbacks coming out now in the draft and developing and going forward. I mean, Mendoza wasn't even a household name when he transferred from Cal to Indiana. Who's going to be that guy? Who's going to be that quarterback? Everybody's starving for the greatest quarterback, the next best thing in the NFL. Everybody wants their Burrow, their Mahomes, their Josh Allen, their franchise guy, their Greg May now. And there's so many misses, just like Brock Purdy when he was missed by the whole NFL. It wasn't just San Francisco, it was the whole NFL. When you're the last pick in the draft, that means everybody whiffed on you, including the Niners until the last pick. But we've seen different outliers now with quarterback, and teams spend more time than anything trying to get that guy. Daniel Jones, he might be that guy with the reservation. He had started off good until he got hurt.
Looked like it.
Daniel Jones, and don't know if he's going to get that contract that he wanted before he kind of towards the end of the year when he started getting hurt. But Daniel Jones would be one of those guys out there that's already with the team, like a Sam Darnold type that I think people would buy into.
Yeah, I think situation, of course, matters. Now, there's some guys that just simply don't have it. Like Jamarcus Russell could end up anywhere, and he was never going to work out, right? Ryan Leaf was never going to work out no matter where he went.
Mariota.
There's some guys that just, they are what they are. But I think clearly with Geno Smith up until this year, what he was able to do actually in Seattle for a couple of years, you look at what Sam Darnold's doing. Where do some of these guys get drafted? Absolutely. Look at Baker Mayfield in Cleveland and now what he's become in Tampa. Like there are plenty of examples of guys that were in bad spots as well. You're right, though, that some teams going to convince themselves, though, like Pittsburgh seems like the organization.
They're going to trade for Mac Jones because I think he's still under contract.
Yes, he's got 1 year left.
So I think some team's going to trade for Mac Jones.
I could see somebody like Pittsburgh where they continue to operate in no man's land. They'll convince themselves. I actually will admit, though, with Pittsburgh, as much as they've been operating this veteran quarterback carousel, and who knows, maybe Rodgers comes back with McCarthy, them trading for Mac Jones would be the most aggressive quarterback move they've made in 8 years in Pittsburgh. I guess Kenny Pickett, if you want to tell me that, the draft pick at least. Because otherwise, Bink, they just continue to find these veterans. I actually think the Steelers, there's at least a slight bit of upside. I'm not fully sold on Mac Jones, but there's some upside. If you told me the Steelers tomorrow, or when the league year opens up, traded for Mac Jones, I would say, oh, wow, you know what? That's something different, at least, instead of just bringing back Rodgers or bringing in Justin Fields or whatever they've been doing the last couple. Russell Wilson.
Pro Bowl invite, Justin Fields.
Text line thinks Malik Willis. A couple people have been texting him, and they saw him.
He's one of the top free agents.
He feels like Miami is also, like, I think Mac Jones or Malik Willis, one of them's in Miami. It's just Malik Willis in Miami. That team is kind of just stuck in mud. They're going to move on from Hill. Nobody likes the quarterback that's there right now in Tua. Like, there's kind of I feel like you're not moving anywhere.
It's the bad situation that the NFL's in with their quarterbacks, because it is really, there's a lot of teams starving to have that guy. That's why you're so fortunate in Kansas City to have that guy in Mahomes when all these other teams looking for that guy. And again, brought the Colts. They thought they had the answer to Daniel Jones, and they didn't back up the Brinks truck for him because they saw him kind of fade away. And I know he got hurt, but he had 7 turnovers the 2 weeks before he got hurt. So Daniel Jones was on a track, but everybody's looking for that next guy. And for the Steelers in Pittsburgh, they're going to have, 700,000 people. You're going to be there in Pittsburgh, Alex. And they're talking 700,000 people. They have 12 picks. This was going to be the year they went and got that franchise guy eventually in Pittsburgh, and they're not going to be able to do it this year unless
Ty Simpson. And I like Ty Simpson. We talked a lot about him during the college football season. He trailed off, though, the last month and a half of the season. He could be there in the 20s for them.
And he probably will get in the end of the first round. And he definitely got advice to go, because he turned down about $6.5 million to stay in college football.
Text line 913-586-7965. So is Mac Jones really worse than Geno Smith or Justin Fields? I bet he starts somewhere just because the bottom tier starters are bad.
If he's traded for.
I agree with you. I mean, that's what we're saying. Yeah, absolutely. He has to be traded for, but Mac Jones is going to, I think, get a chance to start. I think Malik Willis.
He stepped right into that team and they won.
I think Malik Willis and Mac Jones will have a chance entering training camp somewhere to be a starting quarterback week 1. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see, because it's very thin out there, as we mentioned, with the quarterbacks and free agents, where they think, all right, who could we make a trade for? Let's go get some Mac Jones. That's why the Chiefs go ahead and re-signing Gardner Minshew or whatever to be a backup, because it's pretty thin out there.
You want Minshew back?
Why not? I mean, it's for what he is. Because
he knows the offense already.
We don't 100% know what he can do because he got hurt so early on with the Chiefs. We know a lot of can't complete a forward pass, so you do know that. But going forward, finding any good backup is a tough deal.
Just strays thrown his way. I agree with you, though. Obviously, you've seen enough. You can move on from your your practice squad quarterback. They brought in Jake Haener or whatever it was the other day.
The hang dog.
That's your guy. No, I'm fine with Minshew coming back. Here's the thing. They don't know the answer yet on the real timeline for Mahomes. Right now, week 1 is still in play. We don't know that. If you told me that I only need someone for 2 games, then, just sign Gardner Minshew and be done with it. If you tell me that Mahomes is going to take longer, and it's going to be a month, 4 or 5 games, that's when I think they actually need to spend some real money on a backup quarterback.
How much do you think Travis Kelce's decision goes in line with Patrick Mahomes, how he's really doing in the rehab? Because I can see Kelce wanting to come back, But if it's going to be 4 or 5 weeks, do you think that makes his decision different? Or if he's coming back week 1, does that make the decision different? Because I think Kelsey's decision is in large part to the rehab process of Mahomes. I don't think he comes back if Mahomes is going to miss the first month.
So I agree that it might influence the decision, but I don't think, like, the longest anybody even realistically looks at the time, like, Mahomes is probably not missing, even worst case scenario, he's out 6 games. I don't think anybody thinks he's missing the first half the season. Like, I think worst case scenario, again, worst case, he's out for 5 or 6. And so I don't think that's, if you're Kelsey, if you're coming back, I don't think that's the swing. It would be like if you're like half the season I don't have him, then I wouldn't come back.
Let's take it ways into it. Who knows when he comes back? He's on his own time schedule, but I wouldn't bet against him coming back whenever. Text line says, what about drafting Pavia and throw him as a backup?
Oh, gosh.
Here's the one thing about Andy Reid, and this goes back to Shane Buechele.
I mean, they would have him as a training camp invite. Fine, it's fun for camp.
Well, here's the thing. This goes back to Shane Buechele with the Chiefs, coming up through the system. It's not Andy Reid's job to develop a quarterback. That's why he loves the Blaine Gabberts of the world. That's why he loves the Matt Moores of the world. It's why he loves these guys, these journeyman quarterbacks that have been there and done that, because he didn't have to develop them. His job isn't to develop a quarterback that's going to go play somewhere else. He's got his guy. His job is to bring in a guy that can facilitate a 97-yard drive if he has to come in to a football game, which they have done in the past to do it. His job is not to develop that guy. He wants a guy already developed, that's played in this league, that he can throw in there, because he's not going to sit there and develop somebody that's going to end up with the Arizona Cardinals.
I think you need a veteran backup. I mean, I think it makes sense when you have a quarterback. Look at in Buffalo, they got Trubisky behind Josh Allen. You take a look at, to me, a top-tier quarterback. Heck, I know Cody's interested in if they moved on from Brissett in Arizona. Brissett being a backup, I don't hate that idea. He's not my first choice, but I think they need a veteran that can come in. You need 2 wins out of the gate. I need 2 or 3 wins, depending on how the schedule sorts out, which we'll learn in May. I want someone that can, of course, legitimately win those games and has experience in those big moments to give yourself a chance to win. So you're not bringing Mahomes back while you're 1-3 or something like that. Hopefully Mahomes just plays week 1 and it doesn't really matter. But I think
it does matter more this year than it has in past.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally does.
Diego Pavia would get you out at training camp, Pink. I think if they got Pavia in, you'd go to a preseason game just to see Pavia play.
I mean,
5'9" Pavia. It's not like you have a Chet Henne. Because Chet Henne wasn't a great shake as an NFL starting quarterback, but he fit in here fine being a backup.
Send the Bengals, pick 9 for Jake Browning, and then everybody will be okay. You guys can have your backup then at that point, or maybe your starter actually.
Jake Browning.
What did you say? You said send pick 9 for Jake Browning. Okay.
Would you take some Flacco?
Yeah.
If I was the Chiefs, I would. I mean, I think Flacco could be an option. Why not?
You're not developing. He doesn't have to worry about mentoring anybody.
I'm not 100% against that. If you needed him for 1 or 2 games,
yeah,
I'm not 100%.
Offensive line's good enough where you can just let him sit back there.
I'm not completely anti that. He's on the list.
Bowler.
He is. Shador Sanders, Pro Bowler. I think there's a list that the Chiefs probably have too. Of
trade for Dylan Gabriel.
No. Don't need to do that, Pink. I do think Drew is correct, though. If Diego Pavia was just in camp,
you would find a way to
body in camp, you would find a way to get yourself up to St. Joe to watch
character
that.
concerns interview, a random character concerns interview. We'd have to get you linked up with Diego Pavia for sure.
You would.
I'll take Eli Stowers, though.
All right, up next, more controversy around Tom Brady not picking the Patriots to win or picking anybody. Asante Samuel firing off tweets, and we'll get into what Framber Valdez signing with the Tigers means for the Royals.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football's biggest game is coming up on Sunday, and you can get in on the action with Underdog right now in Missouri. Not an Underdog yet? Great news, you're in luck, because new customers score $75 in fantasy bet or fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. It's super easy. You just head to the app, make entries on which player will go higher or lower than stats. Even like I'm on the Underdog app right now. I even see the over under on the length of the national anthem. You just got to choose those stats, choose which one you like. I like it to go higher than for what it's worth. And then with new promos dropping daily in the app, you can make entries and win money. Then Underdog is the place to do that for the big game. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today. Use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing in terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
It's the last call for football, and FanDuel is giving you a daily profit boost every single day as we get closer to the big game. Today's 30% profit boost is all about touchdowns. Shortest touchdown scored, longest touchdown scored, both first and last touchdowns. Maybe you think Kenneth Walker, who has the best odds to score a touchdown at -185, will score the first one. Maybe you think he'll salt the game away with the last one. Or maybe you think the Seahawks will jump out to a big lead and the Patriots will start throwing late, and your last touchdown is Hunter Henry or Stephon Diggs. All you have to do is opt in each day and place an eligible bet to use that day's profit boost. So play your game with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60 and also of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Brought to you by Kalshi. Trade on anything. The big game is here, and now you can trade on football legally nationwide on Kalshi. Right now, New England is trading at 32% to beat Seattle. A $100 trade pays out $289. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold. Jay Binkley's in for Cody today. Cody will be back tomorrow. Drew Nixon producing the show. It is a Thursday, so every couple Thursdays we do Snitch Line. So I said, do we want to do Professor Bink or let's just do Snitch Line? And I said, let's go Snitch Line. Yeah, I said, let's do Snitch Line today. Drew and I thought that was a better path for us today.
Is Cody at the zoo?
He's on a field trip. I don't know. We're going to find out. He's on a field trip.
With his class or his kids' class?
I think his kids.
He's not with his kids?
I think his kids. No, I think his own kids.
Okay. Is that at the zoo?
But I have no idea. Today would not be a terrible day to go.
It's usually too
I'm
cold.
so fired up for the next 5 or 6 days of weather. Seriously, like just the fact that it's sunny out. Like I don't know, everybody's already in a better mood.
It's
I
gonna
feel
be like
like
67 Monday, something like that.
I know. Like I said, I'm going to take either the I don't know if I'm going to do the doors, but I'm taking the top off on the Bronco.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to Shaw Mission Ford and making sure they let me take the top off.
Perfect weather for that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So I will find out tomorrow where Cody was at. A field trip of some sort.
But it was kids, not his
class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he do field trips with his class?
You should help chaperone one of his field trips with him.
I'd
love to hear the story of how you handled some of the
I
stuff.
spoke to his class. He was up there for a night show, and Cody brought his whole class in.
Oh, okay. I thought you went to the class and spoke. I was like, wow.
I was here.
Okay.
What advice did you
give? What advice did you give them?
Told them that their education really doesn't matter.
Did you tell them to not get married either?
Yeah, because Bink, Valentine's Day is a week from Saturday. Yeah. That's your holiday.
That's a scam. That's an outright scam.
Cody doesn't celebrate. Cody actually put Valentine's Day lower on the very low tier of
Sure, I heard that. It's actually less important than Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
Groundhog's Day, Valentine's Day, which one's more important? I'd say Phil, that big fat groundhog in Poxitani.
39% correct.
6 more weeks of winter, according to him.
No, seriously, the Groundhog's Day is probably more important than Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree?
Do you turn on the TV and find where they're doing the live coverage of him and when they announce whether he sees the show?
They do anything for Valentine's Day like that? Nope.
Bink's gone to Pennsylvania to watch it in person before, actually.
They put the groundhog on TV, but on Valentine's Day. No,
what do you want on TV for Valentine's Day?
Super Bowl's going to be on
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
Bink would rather
Day.
see Joey Chestnut eating hot dogs than
what do you want? Yeah, Chestnut
Day.
seeing how quickly he can eat a Russell Stover's can go on Friday or Saturday still. How many of you are going on Sunday night anyway? So I actually don't think everybody's making it seem like it's crazy that Valentine's Day is going to be on the Super Bowl. I don't know if it really changes that much for most people. Still, make sure you don't forget and get a gift.
Does anybody care about Valentine's Day anymore anyway? Guys don't care. Guys don't care at all.
People in a relationship do.
They don't care. Guys, honestly,
maybe if you've been married for a while,
honest opinion, I don't think they care. I think their wife cares, their girlfriend cares. They don't care. Do you care?
Oh, I'm not in a relationship,
Do
so
you
I
care,
don't
Drew?
care. Drew's married, so he has to care.
I know. It's a perfect ask. Do you care? Cody answered very, very honestly.
He didn't say that. He said him and his wife don't make a big deal about it. I think married couples care less about it. I think people that are newlyweds or in a just dating, I think that's a bigger deal. Absolutely 100%. For people that are dating. If you've been married for 30 years, my guess is you say, we got our anniversary. We'll do that instead. I agree with you on the married part of it. I'm just saying, to act like nobody cares about it is crazy.
I don't think they do. Guys definitely don't. Guys don't care. Honestly, they don't. Because you can ask a million guys out there. You can find 10 guys walking in over here to Target or whatever, Walmart, whatever, and say, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? And they'd probably say, when is it? Or I don't know. They're not going to care.
People being last minute with plan, that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
People going the morning of to go buy a dozen flowers. That stuff still happens all the time.
Next year, you ask them, they're going to say, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can do both.
No?
Bink, I think you said that it makes you're glad that they're on both days because it makes Valentine's Day better actually because the Super Bowl's on the day.
No, it means you have an excuse not to pay attention.
Is this top text? This one like feels like they're twisting the knife. They just took you got sucker punched with this text.
Binkley, we care. Just because you can't sustain a relationship doesn't mean we're all pissed at women. Well, first of all, that is true. The part about can't sustain a relationship, 100% accurate. But Valentine's Day is a scam. It is. Go buy cards, candy, whatever, and go to dinner. You could go any other week. You go any other week, any other day to go eat. But Valentine's Day, you got to do it.
So you would rather
scam.
So you would rather take your wife or significant other out on the 12th of February instead of Valentine's Day.
Why not celebrate Wisconsin Day, which is the day after Valentine's Day?
Really? I know you saw the Waffle House.
It is.
I know you saw the Waffle House thing. We'll get back into this during Snitch Line. My guess is Snitch Line coming up at 1:15, 913-586-7965. Something you saw Bink do around town. Something you've seen around the office. Something that you've been doing. That's what the Snitch Line is for. That's coming up at 1:15. 15, 110 or so right here on Cody and Gold. All right, let's get back into some football a little bit with Tom Brady. Then we'll get to the Royals news with their division now getting a little bit tougher. Asante Samuel stirring the pot here. So he played with Tom Brady, I don't remember how many years, but a good chunk of his career with Tom Brady, if not all of his career with Tom Brady, if I'm not mistaken. And we all know Brady made the comment that he's not rooting for anybody, and Patriots fans, I think understandably so, are not happy about it, okay? And so we were not even planning on bringing it up again today, but you filled me in on some tweets that have been sent. Do you think Asante Samuel actually is mad, or is he just trying to promote a podcast? We're going to find out.
That's a good question. He did play. He was drafted by the Patriots.
Okay.
He played there 4 years, but he did fit. He went to Philadelphia right after that. Then he went to Atlanta. I think a lot of people would be like, "Who's Asante Samuel?" When he makes these comments. But the former Patriots have been the ones to grab, whether it's Super Bowl Media Day. Teddy Bruschi was asked about, what do you think about Tom Brady saying there's no dog in the fight because he works for ESPN, but he says, listen, I was a Patriot, and I'm going to go for them. Vince Wilfork has let his opinion be known. Everybody wants to know. But Asante Samuel put weird things out there like, Tom Brady, you have 23 hours to respond. It's up to you. I'm going to go ape blank about who you are. Who is Tom Brady? And what are you going to actually say about that?
Yeah, what scoop does he have?
Once people figure out who Asante Samuel is, he can answer that question. But Tom Brady says, I am highly disappointed in you not rooting for your ex-teammate, Mike Vrabel, who's about to do something special. I'm going to give your ass up one of these mornings. Tag Brady and let him know I'm on his ass. All right, Asante, first of all, again, I don't think people know who Asante Samuel is, but they know who Tom Brady is. I don't think Tom Brady cares to respond to you, but you have 2 rings because of Tom Brady. You might want to just sit this one out, man. Might want to sit this out.
We're over here acting like Asante Samuel was just some random player. I mean, the guy was a little bit like, I get your point, but Asante Samuel wasn't just some random guy. The guy, when the Pro Bowl mattered, he went to 4 in a row. He
hasn't played for 12 years. What I'm saying is, there's probably a lot of NFL players.
He was an all-pro player. I mean, he wasn't bad.
He was, but a lot of people don't know who he is at this point. Because guys go to Radio Row that have Super Bowls, been all pros, and people don't know who they are.
I hear you.
So you're talking these 22-year-old NFL players now that come in as rookies. They were 10 years old the last time Asante Samuel played. I'm just saying he has 2 rings because of Tom Brady. You might want to sit this one out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the jealousy with some of these former, players, that organization, they're winning again. Without them and without Tom and without Belichick, they're actually winning again. Oh, this can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They're having a hard time coming to grips with the fact that this team can still be good once they've left, that they're not the end-all, be-all that happened in New England.
Tom Brady's doesn't need to respond to him, and I don't think he will.
Does,
I don't think he will. Well, yeah, it'd be great for us, frankly. I don't know if he's joking. Vince Wilfork was on Radio Row yesterday. He's clearly joking. Yeah. Listen to this.
Tom hasn't given an opinion, and we're waiting for an opinion from Tom.
That's bull crap, Tom.
Thank you.
That's what we said.
Thank you. Come on, Tom.
Now.
Why won't he give
all that political? This ain't political.
Yeah.
It ain't political. What it is.
Yeah.
Raiders ain't in it.
Yep.
Thank you, Vince.
That's right.
Say what it is.
Right.
What you see.
Yep.
You want to come back and say, hey, I'm a Patriot for life, then you should be rooting for him. Man, look, at the end of the day, if you're a Patriot for life, you know what it is. Don't give me that political bull crap. That's just what it is.
That's it.
That's just what if you don't think we're going to win, just pick Seattle then.
Right.
Yeah. Don't straddle the fence. Yeah. That's what it is. Don't straddle the fence. Thank you.
That's what I said.
So, he's clearly having fun with it and joking. I don't know. I mean, Asante, on Twitter, it's hard to tell.
It is. It's hard to tell. Maybe he is joking. Who knows? People forget who they are real quickly. Guys my age, your age, whatever, know who they are, but there's a lot of contingent that don't, but just put your name back in the news.
I don't like Patriots fans, but I totally get why they would be upset if Tom Brady wasn't rooting for the Patriots. I have total understanding of that. I still think if you were to have the Chiefs in the same spot and Patrick Mahomes was a part owner of another NFL team and he had retired, within the last 5 years or whatever, and he refused to say he was rooting for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, you can say it shouldn't matter. I'm just telling you it does for a lot of fans.
Yeah.
And while people made the Tony Gonzalez comparison, I think that's different. Tony Gonzalez basically said his best years were not in Kansas City. That's way more of a shot than not picking a team to win. But you saw the reaction to that. I totally would understand if Chiefs fans were upset if Mahomes didn't pick the Chiefs in the same type of scenario. So I don't think Patriots fans are being irrational at all.
Just Google.
He said he's has no rooting interest in the game, essentially.
No rooting interest, no dog in the fight is what he said. But Google Asante Samuel, and you'll see like USA Today, Yahoo Sports about him ripping Brady. So whether it's real or not, who knows exactly.
I mean, I think that Vince Warfolk was.
He was joking.
I don't think he was joking around at all. I think he was like, "Hey, Tom, if you think that they're not going to win, then say it. Like, say it with your chest." Like, I mean, he might have said it in a playful tone, but I think in terms of if you don't think they're going to win, like, say it with your chest who you think is going to win, and if it's Seattle, fine. But don't act like you're playing neither side when you think you know who's going to win. If Tom was that's why I asked what Tom said, because if he was asked who he thought would win and said I have no rooting interest, that's completely different than say who are you rooting for.
I agree with you, Drew. Do you think this comes into play though? Like if you're Bo Nix and you've taken the Broncos to the AFC title game and you're sitting up there hurt in that box and Jarrett Stidham's out there with the chance to go on and win a ring with your team, do you ever wonder about these guys that take a team so far, what they think of their backup?
I thought about Bo Nix's thoughts, and you mean from Bo Nix's perspective?
No, this happens. I'm just using Bo Nix as an example, but it happens everywhere where a backup steps in or whatever, and people start to like Nick Foles, taking over what Carson Wentz did. I wonder how many times backups really truly are rooting for that guy that took their spot, or do they want that for themselves? Like, if you're Bo Nix up there and you're watching Jarrett Stidham go out and play one AFC title game that almost won the game and goes to the Super Bowl, and you carried the Broncos the whole season.
Yeah, but I did think about this actually as they were playing, because they would show Bo, and I wondered, like, I think Bo wants the team to win. Now, does he think that Jarrett Stidham winning the Super Bowl means his job's gone? Like, I think he would be against that in a heartbeat. But I think from the standpoint of, this is the team that you fight and claw with every single day, the guys that you spend a vast amount of your day with, you want them to win, even if you're not playing. Like, even the guys who are on the bench, like the third and fourth stringers on this, like the guys who are on the practice squad for the Broncos, I'm sure they want the Broncos to win. Like, sure, they'd love to be out there, or if they got put on the practice squad, or if they got, something along those lines where they're not playing, I think they still want the team to win, even if they were benched or they were injured, you know what I'm saying, or something along those lines.
I was surprised that Tom said it.
I did think about it, though.
Because we talked about it on Tuesday night show, because the comments came out there. I said, why isn't this more of a big deal? Where Tom Brady's saying he doesn't have a dog in the fight, which he actually does. I don't think, even though the NFL might want him to keep neutrality because he is a broadcaster now, but he is a part owner of the Raiders. So there is that equation into it, too.
Sure.
If he goes out and says, hey, I'm going for the Patriots, nobody would care at all. Dude's won 6 rings with them, played 20 years. He could have just said.
Do you think people would care if he said, I think Seattle's going to win the game?
Yes.
100%.
Which to me, I think is
100%.
complete BS. If he said he thought the team was going to win, that was going to win the game, that wouldn't mean that Tom Brady's rooting against New England. If he picks Seattle to win, that's who he thinks is going to win the game. Like, I'll be honest with you, I love the Cincinnati Bengals, but when they were playing Jake Browning, I was picking the Vikings to win the football game. Like,
Drew.
Yeah, but you're not.
Like,
I think Drew. I don't think it's a fair comparison.
I think it's the same thing with Tom Brady, although people make it a bigger deal because he's Tom Brady. It's the exact same situation. When you pick who's going to win, you pick who you think's going to win. You don't think about what other people are going to think about you.
Yeah, so
and if you do, that's a terrible decision.
Yeah, I don't think that comp works in my opinion, because this is Tom Brady, the face of a franchise.
It shouldn't
the greatest
be that way,
of all
though.
time. It's not you or me saying, as just a fan, who I'm rooting for in a particular game.
So you would rather Tom Brady lie or do what he's doing now just to appease people? I think you're a fake individual if you do that for that reason.
No, it's not picking. I'm saying Tom Brady acting like, as a guy that spent as much time as he did in New England, and clearly fans have that attachment to him not rooting for the team he spent 99% of his career with, and being able to just say, yeah, I'm rooting for Drake May, the young guy that's taken, that is now the quarterback of the place that I also had a lot of success.
And the head coach was his teammate.
And the head coach played with him. I think, like that is totally fair for people to be upset about that. I'm not saying that if Tom Brady was on on a studio panel, and his job was weekly to give picks that he should pick the Patriots every single week to win. That's what you're making it seem like. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I think that's why Vince Wilfork was serious with what he said. Like, hey, Tom, how come you're not picking anybody? How come you're not being honest with us?
His tone was kind of like just being silly.
I understand that, but I think you can joke around and also be serious in the same breath. It's like, come on, Tom, like, hey, don't straddle the fence. Hey, if you want to pick Seattle, then pick Seattle. Stand on it.
No, I also think, again, as we said yesterday, this is the reason why, like, fans, when players come and go all the time. Some of you have been a fan for 60 years or whatever, right? Like, this is always the thing. Like, as much as you have an attachment to, recent example, Chris Jones or Patrick Mahomes or Tony Gonzalez, like, ultimately, you're a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, and we all love players, and we have our childhood idols and favorites and all that, but ultimately, you care more about that team than they do, and this is another prime example of that. It just is.
And it came down to it for Chiefs fans at the end of the year. You going from to win these games, or you going for that draft pick? Like, it came down to a dilemma. Do I want to see them win these games, or do I want to be in the top 10 drafting? It came to those kind of, things in people's minds they had to think about with the Chiefs.
Random question.
We'll get to the random question. We'll move the Royals stuff. We went a little long there. We'll get to Framber Valdez coming up at the 1 o'clock hour. My apologies there. But it is the random question of the day, brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. So this is a story, and then it'll lead to a question. So this was almost our trash of the day, but there was a woman was trapped inside a car wash in Pennsylvania. So there was a system malfunction at a car wash in Pennsylvania. She got stuck inside the car wash for almost an hour. She ended up documenting the whole thing on TikTok.
Of course.
She had driven in for routine car wash when the equipment stopped working. The doors wouldn't open, leaving her trapped inside her vehicle. She was eventually able to get out safely after she called the fire department. The manager joined in. They were able to help get her out, where the manager gave her a stack of gift cards.
Oh.
And as probably someone said, joking, hopefully that you don't sue us. So basically that happened. So my question is, something that you do on a regular basis, what's the worst place to maybe be stuck? Because I actually don't think a car wash, while inconvenient, getting stuck in a car wash is far from one of the worst places to be stuck. Car wash, I'm in the car. I have my radio and music on. I've got, if it's cold, I got my heater. If it's hot, I have the AC. I have my phone still there. Wait, it's annoying. I wouldn't want to be stuck for an hour either, but way worse.
And your car's getting clean.
And you're hopefully comfortable in the car. Like, there's way worse places to be stuck. So let me ask you, what do you feel about being stuck in a car wash, and or something you do on a regular basis that you're like, all right, this would be the worst? 913-586-7965.
I still think one of the all-time worst ones is when you're in one of these when there's an accident up above and you're stuck in your car for at least an hour or hour and a half when you have to go to the bathroom. Maybe your car is low on gas or whatever, and you're sitting there and you have no idea when you're moving, and it's there for an hour and a half. That can be that can suck. And I'll tell you this much. I thought about that skyscraper guy. Like when he was on
Holland
floor
or
89 or 90,
Holland.
floor 90, when he got up there, I was like, what if he was just done at this point? You're stuck at the 89th floor. What are you going to do when you're climbing that skyscraper? It's like, what is this guy going to do in those situations? But I think elevator, when it's crowded, is the worst. By yourself, if you're in an elevator by yourself and it's stuck, unless there's like a tornado or something, you want to get to a safer spot. But if you're stuck in an elevator and you're by yourself, who cares? But if you're stuck with a bunch of people, that's the part that sucks. If like 10 or 15 people are in an elevator and you're stuck there, I think that's the worst situation of being stuck somewhere.
Man, I would say part of me wants to say like an airplane, like if you're just on the tarmac, if you arrive, because there have been moments, it hasn't been very long. My brother's been stuck on the tarmac, though, in the plane for an hour.
And they're supposed to bring you back to the gate if it's been more than an hour or something like that?
I don't know, but my brother's been like, he's like, dude, I'm stuck on the tarmac right now. He didn't have a connecting flight or anything, but he's like, dude, I'm ready to get off this plane.
Sure.
And we don't know when we're going to be able to get off. Like that is...
Yeah. You know what I would have hated,
that would
honestly?
be annoying because the seat's straight up, you're ready to get off. It's annoying. Yeah. You're just, yeah.
I would have hated, and this is during COVID, like when nothing's open, you have nowhere to go. I would have hated to be stuck with my wife. Like I wasn't married at the time. I wasn't married, but I would have hated to be stuck.
Oh my gosh.
I was single at the time, but if I was stuck with my wife during that time, that would suck.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, we're not surprised at that answer, I suppose.
The porta potty in 100-degree weather is a text that we've gotten a few times.
That would suck.
You're stuck in there for an hour. Nothing you can do. Trust me, I've been in St. Joe at training camp, and it's It's 1:30 in the afternoon. We've been doing the show for 3.5 hours. It's hot. Nobody else is around. You got to go to the bathroom. You go in there, and it's been used already all day or for a couple weeks at that point. And I think they empty them out fairly often. That would be awful for an hour. Now, I can't smell anything anymore. You know this, so my answer maybe is not as bad. But still, it's 100 degrees in there.
It's brutal.
130 degrees in that thing. So,
what if you were married for 20 years, though, Alex? Put yourself in you're married for 20 years and you're stuck in an elevator with your wife for hours. How much would that suck? I mean, just put yourself in that position. Drew, you've only been married a few years. But if it's over 20 years.
People are shocked you're not married still.
And you're stuck with your wife for an extended period of time like that, and she starts whining and getting mad at things, how much would that suck?
Yeah, there are times where I complain or she complains, and you kind of just block the noise. Like you kind of just let them go off.
Could you be stuck with your wife for 5 hours?
Yeah.
He's still in love, Bink. He's still in a relationship.
We do a lot of things together.
Should be Googling divorce attorneys.
we do a lot. We do a lot of things together where I think you just get used to. You just get used to how they act in certain situations. So if we were stuck for 5 hours, I know it would suck, and there would be moments where we both complain and it's both annoying, and there'd be some awkward times. Sure. But other times, you just start to get creative with something. Like if you're stuck on, I don't know, if you're somebody mentioned a roller coaster. Not that my wife and I we don't care for roller coasters like that, but let's say we're on a roller coaster. I don't know. You start people watching. You talk about the day. You find random things to talk about.
If you were stuck with your wife on a roller coaster for more than